What am I gonna do? Got so much to study. I gotta make that architectural project, that photography project. I gotta take notes on marketing, and I gotta listen to that audio file from music class. What the hell do I do? Man, if only I could just multiply myself. How to multiply yourself. Oh, secret Japanese methods of multiplying yourself. Naruto. I wonder what that is. Kage Bunshin no Jutsu. Hey everybody, Alex Lynn here. Welcome back. I'm so happy to see your beautiful faces. Thank you for stopping by. Today we're going to talk about a subject that I've wanted to talk about for a long time now. So in today's 3-Minute Thursday, we're going to talk about the 4 types of learning modalities or learning styles and how to leverage them to your own advantage and demystify the fact that some people are just born extremely smart and some are just not. So the truth is, people process and store information in so many different ways. I mean, some people are born innate listeners. Some people are really good at drawing. Others are really good at touching stuff and building things with their hands. And it's usually because of the mismatch between the teaching style and the learning style that causes the learning difficulties. We're all born amazing. And if you think about it, when you came into your mother's womb and you were fighting against those million other brothers and sisters, you won, didn't you? See? See what I mean? You are pretty amazing. You beat 1 million people before you were even born. That's pretty awesome, eh? What we need to realize now is that there's a huge shift from the industrial age, which was, 100 years back, to what is now called the information age. We're bombarded with tons and tons of information. You got social media, you got the news, you got people talking, and information is traveling at such amazing speeds that it's so hard to capture everything at once. What I wish was covered in school was that there are 4 different types of learners, and we need to figure out which one we are so that we can leverage them. So the first type of learner is the visual learner. Do you have to see information sometimes to remember it? How about, do you pay close attention to body language? What about aesthetics? Is that important to you? Or how about daydreaming? Are you a really good daydreamer? Somebody who can visualize and pretty much feel, see, taste, touch, and hear everything that you see in your mind? If this sounds familiar or something like you, this probably means that you're a visual learner. You're probably really good at associating images and art with ideas and information. So you're a visual learner. How do you leverage this kind of learning style? What you want to do is actually use charts and graphs to your advantage. Films, slides, illustrations, diagrams, they all strengthen your learning abilities. Color coding is definitely your friend. You want to use it with notes and things like possessions as well. You may want to write out whatever it is that you want to learn or remember, and by doing so, you can relate information to objects and art a lot easier. Style of learning number 2, auditory learners. Would you rather listen in a classroom as opposed to reading a book or a textbook? Do you like to read out loud? Does it help you remember certain things? How about recordings? Do you prefer to listen to recordings of classes instead of going over notes? And lyrics. Lyrics will stick because the sing-song sounds will resonate with your learning style, and you'll be able to absorb and retain the information a lot easier. What does this mean? You probably prefer to hear info instead of reading or seeing it. And how would you leverage this learning style? You can record the conversations and play it back to you at a later time. You can learn by asking questions, participate in discussions, you can recite info out loud, and you can find people to actually repeat the information you just learned to. What's amazing is that when you actually teach someone else, you're actually learning twice. The third style of learner is the kinesthetic learner, the hands-on kind of person who enjoys the activities where you can manipulate objects and materials. Do you find it hard to sit still sometimes? How about applied skills? Are you really good with working with your hands? Good at cooking, mechanics, sports, even painting? Practice makes perfect. And you find that typically the practice something physically helps you learn it a lot faster. What does this mean? Well, you're a hands-on experiential learner that absorbs and retains info best by doing. And how do you leverage this kind of learning style? Well, basically you can make models, use flashcards, trace letters over words that are difficult to remember, You can also try to memorize material by moving, pacing, walking, or even doing light exercise. You can sprinkle a few exercises in your learning sessions by moving around, taking frequent breaks, and actually do role-playing. Role-playing is a great tool, especially if you're this kind of learner. And last but not least, the read and write learner. I'm pretty sure you can guess what kind of learner this is. Do you find reading textbooks or text an easy way of learning? Are you a really good note taker? Do you love making lists and creating presentations? Do you like it when your teacher gives you handouts and you mark it up, doodle on it, draw, highlight, whatever it is you need to do to actually make that handout your own? What does this mean? You interact with text more powerfully than hearing and seeing it. How can you leverage this kind of learning style? You can annotate handouts. You can write down what you've learned. So go home, write a journal, write a diary, and make sure you jot down the big ideas so you don't forget. Create bullet lists to help you remember the big topics. You could even transform charts and diagrams into short verbal or written summaries. So, do you know what kind of learner you are? Have you identified with a visual, with an auditory, a kinesthetic, or even a read-write learner? You have to remember that you're actually dominant in one of the four, but in reality, you're actually all four at the same time. The best learners are the ones that can actually dial up and turn up each of the different types of styles and use it to their advantage. How do you do that? You practice, just like anything. You might be strong at one, or you're innately dominant at one, but you have to realize that you have the capabilities to learn all the other three. So don't feel stuck. You're definitely gonna figure it out. So I hope you enjoyed that video. Hit that subscribe button, smash that like button if you haven't already, and share it with somebody who you think might find this useful. And I'll see you in the next video. Later!